Okay, well, it's 5 o'clock, and I'm talking about Sleepy Hollow. So let me wait until people come. Okay, hello. You're the first person, Shamo 1973. This is my first time on Periscope, so I'm a little nervous. I'm not really sure what I should do, but I'm waiting on more people to join before I really get started talking. Um, so until then, let me just say that thanks for joining in. Um, I am Monique Jones. I own colorwebmag.com, just called Color. It's about race and culture and entertainment, but um, I'm beginning to think of it more like essence for nerds, if that makes sense. Um, we talk about movies, TV, uh, all kinds of entertainment news. I'm beginning to do style news, anything that relates to the multicultural woman who wants to know a little bit about everything. So you can follow me at colorwebmag.com. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and, well, Periscope. All of it is colorwebmag. You can also follow me on Twitter at MoniqueBlogNet. So, what I'm talking about today is Sleepy Hollow, and last night was the season 3 premiere. So that's exciting for a lot of people. It's exciting for me because I've been following it since the first season. It's been one of my favorite shows. And frankly, waiting the whole summer for it to come back, there's been a lot of drama going on, which I won't get into here. But we have been waiting since summer, and it's finally here. And the main worry was that it wasn't going to be anything like the first season, and thankfully it was. It was probably the best episode since the first season, actually. There were some good episodes in season 2, but it's not. It hasn't been in season 2. It hasn't been very, very good. If you saw season 2, then you know that it wasn't that great. There were some good episodes, but for the most part, it was a big, jumbled mess. And all the fans wanted for season 3 was for it to be a whole lot more concise and cohesive than it was in season 2. And thankfully, it seems like it was, or it is. Last night's episode, Eyewitness, was very much a reboot, as much as it was the start of a new season. The episode itself, if you read my recap on my website, colorwebmag.com, then you'll know that I really loved it. I felt like the characters have been the strongest that they've been since the first season, and some select episodes of the second season. That the new characters that were introduced this season were great. Like I think to me they feel like they have existed for a long time, and that's very, very good storytelling and character development. The whole show seemed to flow like an old episode of Sleepy Hollow, which is fantastic because, as I've said before, that's all the fans have wanted, is for the show to be like how it was. And let's see, what else? I wrote a lot in my recap. If you read it already, and if you read it at blackgirlnerds.com, hello, Nursey. I think I said your Twitter handle right. Hello. Um, if you read what I talked about at blackgirlnerds.com and on my website, then you'll know that there's a whole lot of shipping talk in there. Personally, my thing about shipping and shipping wars and stuff. First of all, if you don't know what shipping is, that means um, like relationship, like wanting two characters to get together. So my whole thing with the whole shipping aspect of stuff is that it gets competitive really fast, and that's not really. I kind of hate talking about it sometimes because it's not really what I come to a TV show for. It's interesting if it happens. Like uh, I do have things that I do have people that I like to see together on TV shows, but um, I try not to make it a big part of my viewing experience. If that makes any sense, I'm kind of in between because uh, I have to critique a show, but at the same time I'm a fan of it. So anyway, it's a long spiel. But as far as shipping goes, as far as me reading the tea leaves of the script that I have not read goes, it seems like there are clear hints as to there being a severe Abby Ichabod angle this season. But there also seem to be some hints at other things that could happen too. Um, and thanks to the people who have just joined, I introduced myself earlier. You probably already know me. I'm Monique Jones. Oh, thank you, thank you, Clem loves Winnie. That means a lot. I own ColorWebMag.com. Uh, it's it's a fandom site. It's a geek site. It's a site for multicultural talk. It's a site for discussions about race and racism and culture and sexuality and gender and all kinds of stuff that's going on in our community, in the world, and in America. And I analyze it and give my thoughts, and I just want to hear what y'all have to say. So, also that leads me to say that while I'm talking about my site, if you have any suggestions or any tips or anything that you want me to write about, let me know because I'm trying to grow color into something big. Um, I want it to be a success, and right now it is a success for the level that it's at. But and hoping not just for me as a fan, but since I've said it so many times that I felt like it was going to be a good season, I was hoping that it would be, so I wouldn't look like an idiot. But it turned out to be great, and to go back to shipping, like I said, it seems like there's going to be a lot of Ichabod Abby stuff, especially with whoever partners are. Um, like like how Ichabod was talking about being partners. Like, I mean, I thought they were already partners, but I know they had a lag with the whole year situation. Um, so I don't know. However he was talking about that, it seemed like he was talking about it in a way that is more than just being partners. And we'll see how that plays out. But it also seems like, he and Jenny get along well too, and Betsy Ross, as far as I can see from the flashbacks, people were very worried about her, but she seems to be someone who holds her own. She's certainly not Katrina, that's for sure, and the same goes for Pandora. Neither of them are Katrina. They are developed characters, which is what I wanted for Katrina. Like, a, a I've never been a fan of Katrina, but I've never hated her, and I mostly felt sorry for her because as a character, she wasn't very well developed. So I'm sad. I'm kind of sad that she's dead because she wasn't well developed. But um, the the show itself, the characters, everything's working great, even without Irving. The thing that Jenny told us about him was great. So everything's fine. So I think I'll end my spiel there. You can read um, all the things I had to say about it on colorwebmag.com. and at blackgirlnerds.com. And so, with that, I'm not sure how many people are viewing this, but if you have any questions or comments about the first episode, you can start sending me questions now. Um, as far as my predictions for the show goes, while I'm waiting for questions if they come in, um, I'm hoping that the show continues to be the good season that it has started out as. It seems like a lot of care was taken with developing the characters this season, and I think that was the reason for there not being any uh, Comic Con, talk or anything really on the internet. Nothing was said this summer. I think that the fact that they were seriously working on getting stuff right and making things, so that the fans would like it and so that Fox would like it too, because Fox now owns Sleepy Hollow and they are invested in it just like the fans are now. And so they were working very hard on getting stuff right. And I think that they did it. I mean, it seemed like, I think some fans, I'm not going to name who, but some fans seemed like they thought it was, hi, Joyce. Uh, for those just coming in, I'm just talking about Sleepy Hollow, and if you have any questions about what I thought about the premiere or anything kind of really dealing with television, just leave me a question or a comment. And if you have anything you'd like to see on color, you can leave me a comment about that as well, because I'm trying to serve the audience. But anyway, I think some fans thought that it might have been, you know, impossible to remake the season into something that all fans would want. And of course, you're not going to appease all fans because there are some fans out there, like with any TV show, there are fans that, only live for the shipping aspect of it. Like, they don't, like, there's not a full rounded, appreciation for the show. It's just, we got to win at shipping. We got to have our people together. And I've been through that with anime shows, with other TV shows. So there's that. And, there are some fans that will not be happy about anything, but the majority of the fans, whether they ship somebody or not, they really just wanted the show to come back. And people were worried that it wasn't going to come back the same way. And, I was kind of worried that it wouldn't find its way a little bit inside. But, I think the fact that they didn't say anything all season is proof to me that they were working very hard on getting it right, because they knew that there was a lot at stake in a lot of ways, because it's not just with fans, they also have money tied to this too, because they have comic books and other merchandise, and with all that kind of income coming in, you don't just want to just cut it off. At least I wouldn't want to just cut it off. So let's see, I'm reading something. Yeah, I'm excited about strong ensemble casts too. And it seems like the writing this season, I don't know much about Justified. I do have a story about Justified though, but as far as Sleepy Hollow goes, it seems like they really are trying to get all the characters strong, and there's no weak links so far, so that's great. Um, even the even the criminal, even though he only had a few scenes, he wasn't weak either. So that was cool. Like it seems like it's back to everyone that you see, like how in season one, everyone that you would see, you would kind of be like, man, they could be a character in their own show. Yeah, and they do seem to be on the right track. Yeah, you're right. Um, and so I hope they keep that track. As far as my story about Justified, it's not really a big story, but it's just when I was working somewhere else, another outlet, because I've worked at many entertainment outlets in my short career. One uh, one day I had to interview, I forget what his name is, but the main character in Justified. Um, and I forget what my question even was, but I do remember him talking about becoming an executive producer, and he was telling a funny story about how he didn't know what being an executive producer was. They just gave him the title. So it's not really a big story, but it's just something that I thought was funny because it shows that actors, for all the titles and stuff, they're just like us. They're just regular people. Um, that's one of the biggest things I've learned while doing both my site, where I've interviewed lots of people, and working for others, interviewing lots of people. Um, yeah, and it you get to realize that people are just people, regardless of if they are actor, whoever, or just me, um, or just some guy on the street. Like everyone's just a person, and you can strike up a conversation as easily with an actor as you can with a person like me or a person that you just see on the street. Um, so anyway, where was I? I was talking about Sleepy Hollow and expectations and fandom and all that stuff. I mentioned in the recap, I alluded a little bit to the interview I did with Lee Dana Jackson and uh, all the kerfuffle that happened with that. Right. Thanks, Clem loves Winnie. Yeah, you're right. Um, Hopefully, Sleepy Hollow can keep the focus on the main characters and not drift off. Uh, but yeah, with the uh, that interview situation, it's not really about the interview itself because it was fine. But mm-hmm. Thanks for your comment. Um, let's see, but what I'm trying to get at is that the the fandom situation with that was something that kind of annoyed me a lot, if I'm being honest. And it's not, I don't think it's anybody here that was a part of that, but just, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna name any names, but if you're in the fandom, you probably know what happened. But it's just, I think over the summer, I think people let their right, yeah, it was disappointing. Um, but it came around to where people started, the majority of people liked it, so that's great. Um, but it was very annoying because I I can tell because I keep one foot out of the fandom and one foot in journalism, and I was looking at it, I was observing the fandom over the summer and both spring and the summer, and I saw the level of tension just rising and rising, and I knew why, but at the same time, it's like there's a certain thing in fandom, and this goes with all fandoms, really, in general, that there will be a moment where there will be someone or a group of people who will uh, make worry out of nothing. And this is coming from somebody who is a chronic worrier. Like I call myself a recovering worrier, just like I am a recovering perfectionist. And um, thank you for those compliments. That means a lot. Um, but yeah, it was very very annoying because yeah, what I was saying is um, there will be people who will create worry, and then other people will latch onto it. The nature of Tumblr, it seems like, is that someone will say something, and then someone else will, like telephone, will turn it into something else, and someone will turn that into something else, and then eventually, like in season one, when Abby was see, Abby and Ichabod were doing something. It was dealing with that creepy house and the secret, whatever Katrina's secret there was. Yeah, mob mentality, and whatever the secret was, uh, people were like, "Oh no, what's the secret gonna be?" Because there was a 2 week hiatus, and someone said, "Oh, what if it's that Abby is Ichabod's relative?" And then once somebody said that, then someone else said it, and then someone else said it, then all of a sudden people thought it was true, and then people were like, "She can't be Ichabod's relative. That won't make any sense." Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, first of all, no one said that was even gonna happen. That's just someone's. I could say that, and someone would think it's true, and when it's not. Um, so that kind of, as someone said, mob mentality. Yeah, Joyce, as she said, mob mentality. Um, that's that's the thing that gets on my nerves the most about fandom in general is the mob style of ganging up on somebody or something. And look, like, if it's a reasonable, like, if there's a reason to, I don't want to say gang up on somebody, but show them that something's not right, such as when a lot of fans were mad at Fox and the season's past showrunner, the second season showrunner, for having, so many poor episodes, and the social and racial ramifications as to why those episodes were bad. That makes sense to me. Like, I get when the fandom did that, but a lot of other things, like with making rumors that aren't true, such as the whole Abby's Ichabod's relative thing that happened in season one, and just what happened to me, which is like 2 or 3 people saying that I over exaggerated the Ichabod thing. First of all, that if it seemed like I was over exaggerating anything, um, I mean, hashtags are used for marketing, and Ichabod was talked about in the hashtag, and for me, I mean, in the article, and for me, it seemed like if I was reading it, I'd be like, oh, there's a lot of Ichabod discussion here, even though he didn't say a lot. It's what he didn't say that really, kind of brings home the point that there's going to be some more Ichabod stuff going on, and that people who are into that ship would probably want to read it. So, yeah, yep. Thanks, Joyce. Um, so anyway, that's why I used the Ichabod hashtag, because it's like we're talking about Ichabod, so you want to. It's in the article, so there. I mean, it's in the article, so that's why I used it. And secondly, the policing of how I use Ichabod or how some other person uses Ichabod is kind of like, I get what you're saying. Is kind of ridiculous to me because like policing the hashtag, like Ichabod critics and fans alike have used. I was using it as a romantic term in that situation, but um, critics and fans have used Ichabod to just shorthand for Abby and Ichabod in terms of talking about the relationship, and of course it's used in the romantic sense. So that whole thing, I mean, saying if I used it wrong or whatever. Uh, but whatever that was about is just kind of annoying. Um, and not that I don't want to be like, oh, I'm still mad about it, but it's kind of annoying when you land an interview like that and no one else is talking to Sleepy Hollow people at the time. Fans want to know what's going on, and I managed to get, with the help of fans, um, of a fan. I think it was Joyce, if I'm remembering right, who helped me to get that interview. and to get something, for fans who really want to know what's happening, to get something out of somebody that works there is like, that's a boon for us because he could not have, he didn't, it could have been that he didn't talk to me. Like, it could have been like that. And so we could not know anything. But he took the time out to talk to us and to tell us what was going on as much as he could tell us because he's under, an embargo too. He's writing the show, so he can't say everything. But anyway, that's just a gripe. But overall, I mean, I like the fandom. Like, I don't want to paint the wrong picture that I don't like the fandom. Yes, okay, great, great, thanks. I'm glad I remembered right. Um, but I don't want to paint the picture that I don't like the fandom because I do like fandoms. It's a community, but it's just kind of annoying when um, it gets, what's the right word I want to use? Well, things get out of hand, I guess I should say. Disrespectful. So, anyway, that's a minor point, I guess. Yeah, that's crazy. Um, but in any case, it seems like the season is on the right path, and I hope it stays that way because if it doesn't, then things are gonna go south very fast. Um, and I think that's about all I have to say. If you've got any comments or questions, you can leave them now, as you have been doing all throughout. Uh, yeah, it was a very good episode. Um, but one other thing while I'm here, I don't know how many of you guys watch Minority Report, but I've been trying to figure out if I'm going to. Oh, great! I'm glad you liked the episode. My voice is kind of going a little bit, so I might have to get off of here soon. But I've been debating whether I was going to recap Minority Report. Some of what I've been thinking about writing, I've actually been thinking about writing a article about why it's kind of difficult for me to recap Minority Report. And one of the reasons, strangely enough, is that it seems a lot like Sleepy Hollow and Almost Human, and I would think that that would make it a lot easier for me to recap Minority Report. But something about the show just reminds me of Almost Human in a bad way, in that um, Almost Human was great, but it got up to a slow start initially, and then it just crashed towards the end, which that's its own. That could be a topic of its own Periscope right there, if to what happened with Almost Human. But I really liked that show, even though I knew all of its flaws, and it still went off the air. And so I feel like there might be something in Minority Report that might be hard for viewers to grasp onto. I don't know if it's because it's in a sci-fi world, or there are things in the show that we can't identify with, or and they did totally copy Abby. That's another thing. Oh yeah, that's right. Almost Human wasn't shown in order. That is true. Um, so I don't know, but something about the show is giving me Almost Human vibes in a not so good way, and I am nervous for it, and so I don't want to get started recapping it and then have it go off the air. But if people want me to recap it, because I'm on the fence anyway, just tweet me, or however you want to get in touch with me, you can do that, and tell me if you want me to recap Minority Report, and I will fit it in. My recaps are probably going to be towards the end of the week because I have, yeah, I'm not sure either. Because I have a lot of work to do, not just with color, but with other people as well. As you probably already know, I write for Entertainment Weekly for their community blog, and I have, other things I'm doing, like Um, I have a lot of things. I should recap it anyway. Okay, I will take that into consideration. I'm supposed to be doing a lot of recaps this weekend, so I need to watch a lot of things. Like Empire, let's see, Empire, Blackish, The Player, a lot of shows that either I'm covering for other people or I'm trying to cover for myself or whatever. So there's a lot to straighten out. But in any case, recaps are coming towards the end of the week and the weekend. Yes, a lot of shows. Too many shows. Too many shows to count. Because even tonight there is Dr. Kin, and I'm not recapping that, but I'm reviewing it for myself. So, and there's lots of interviews coming up, and well, thanks, thanks. I hope they're lucky. I don't know if I don't know what I'm gonna say about Dr. Ken because the commercials don't look that promising. But it's supposed to be funny, according to some critics. That some critics have said it's funny, so we'll see. Um, but yeah, I think that's about it. I guess the last thing I'll say, if you've been around since my Almost Human days, when I was recapping Almost Human, you might know, since I was talking about it, it reminded me that I talked to Michael Ealy about Almost Human. I think it was last year I talked to him about it, and at the time, I think he was filming The Perfect Guy. So if you haven't seen The Perfect Guy, then and you want to, throw some, bucks Michael Ealy's way, then go see it. It looks like it's gonna be fun trash, which that's a compliment. But it looks like it's something that you want to have your tub of popcorn and yell at the screen at. So, congratulations for him. I remember talking with him about Almost Human, and it was again to say that to go back to the fact that actors are just like people. Like we ended up kind of like consoling each other about Almost Human. Um, we want you to interview Nicole. Oh, yeah, I want to interview Nicole too. I'm gonna see if I can do that. Hopefully I can. There's a lot of bureaucracy with things, but I hope I can do that. That's my goal, to get Nicole and Tom Meissen and anyone else I can get, and to hopefully get on the set at some point, because where I am, I'm only a few hours away, and it would be a day trip for me, really. So I just have to figure out how to get on there and do it. Um, so let's see. I think I rambled enough. Um, Sleepy Hollow was good. I'm hoping it'll stay that way. I'm excited to see Pandora and what she's gonna do. It was fun to see her put Headless Horseman in the box. Uh, it was kind of like the death knell for Katrina when her neck was cracked. That was like the end of season 2 forever, and that seemed very poignant and kind of like a read at season 2. Um, anything else? Anything else that I missed when talking about this? Well, let's see. I think I think the last thing I'll say, and I guess weirdly enough, is something dealing with it could be stuff. The last thing I'll say is that I'm never sure how much we're supposed to read into it could be. Like, I don't know if it was supposed to be a big deal to begin with, but I think it had something to do with a lot of the chemistry between Nicole Bahari and Tom Meissen. And that Tom Meissen is not an actor that knows how to chill off screen, off set. Like, he's always he seemed like he would be a fun person to interview because he's always giving stuff away that he's not supposed to be talking about. So, and he seems like he has a lot of fun. Uh, but their chemistry, yeah, he has no chill. Um, their chemistry is something that seems like propelled the Ickaby uh, status, I guess, for lack of a better word, up to something that was even greater than I think the writers or the creator intended. Um, I don't know, but that's my take on it. Um, it seems like from some of the interviews that I have seen that Tom Eisen is really excited about this season, and I don't know what exactly that means. I think it means that he gets a lot of the character beats that he wanted, because I know last season he was kind of frustrated with what Ichabod was doing and how he was catering to Katrina at every second instead of doing what he felt Ichabod should be doing. So it seems like he has a lot more fun this season. Yeah, you can't predict that. That's true. Um, so it does seem like there's going to be a lot of Ichabod stuff going on, especially with the what seems like an overshadowing, I guess, of a foreshadowing of the whole partners thing. Like him keep talking about partners and what he thinks partners are without saying it, and then us going to the Betsy Ross flashback about partners, and she ends up kissing him before she leaves, and is like, what are partners to Ichabod? Like, what is a partner? So I don't know. We'll see what that is. There might be a theme for this season. What is a partner, and will they become partners in whatever sense Ichabod thinks that they should be? Um, he seems kind of adamant that they need to work closer together. Whatever that means, we will see. But overall, I loved it, and I can't wait till next episode. Again, before I end the Periscope, yep, it is X-Files. And X-Files is coming back, so I probably need to start watching that from the beginning, because I haven't watched it ever, because I was a little kid. But anyway, uh, that ends the talk about Sleepy Hollow. Hopefully y'all loved it. Hopefully I'll be able to do it again um, with other shows or with other things in general. You can find me, if you are new, you can find me at colorwebmag.com. You can find me on Twitter at MoniqueBlogNet or at Color's new Twitter page, ColorWebMag, at ColorWebMag. You can find me on Facebook at ColorWebMag. Um, Thank you, Clem Loves Winnie. Thank you. Um, you can find me where else? Instagram. I'm trying to get more active on there. That's ColorWebMag as well. Pinterest, ColorWebMag. Oh, thanks. Thanks, you guys. Where else can you find me? I think that might be it. I'm sure there'll be more stuff coming later on. But anyways, keep reading my site. There'll be more stuff coming up either tonight or tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow for sure. And have a good night.